I went in business for myself. And I called it Snarr Sign Company. I was 17 years old. My uncle, he did the papers, got me registered and all with the city and everything else. So everything was legal. Kind of looked out after me. I think he was very encouraging to me and kind of halfway proud of me for having the courage to go for it. Well, that summer, I decided that I am going to do a billboard. On the subject of billboards, I'd like to just make one quotation from my favorite American philosopher, Emerson. And Emerson wrote this in his essay on self-reliance. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. What does that mean? Well, consistency is another word for a tradition. A foolish tradition or a foolish consistency. The only constant is change in this world. No. So anyway, a foolish consistency. I said, well, how come billboards are all the same? They're all rectangles like this. They're just rectangles, all lined up down the highway. And if you analyze it, after a while, it's monotonous. They're the same. Oh, they got words a little bit differently. This store, this whatever, this product, whatever. But you start analyzing, they're very, very similar. But people don't have time to analyze. You got to be able to grab their attention. You got to hit them right between the eyes. They got to just be hit. They got to see something different that they won't forget. And so what I said to myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rectangle and I'm going to turn it up like this. So instead of having a rectangle, I'm going to have a vertical. Now, if you have a rhythm of rectangles, and within that patchwork of rectangles, you stick a vertical, what is your eye going to see? Going to see the vertical. Because you broke the rhythm with a foreign element. And therefore it's unique. Now, if you can make that vertical exciting and interesting, and my idea was, if I can make someone smile, if they're coming down that road, they got all these problems, we all have problems, whatever it is, but if you can just say, gosh, look at that cute sign, look at that, isn't that interesting? And that takes imagination. And so I've got to take, and I want to introduce, wherever possible, humor. And all humor is you take a reality and you stretch it. And you put it in just a little bit different context, and therefore it becomes humorous. It's just off center. It's off balance. It's asymmetrical. You don't get boxed in with just pure symmetry. Here's a rectangle, step in the middle, and that's so I don't go any further. You go outside the box, in other words. So that was how I started. So at that grade, I was still 17, I built my first billboard. Now, I haven't gotten into the story of my stuttering. That'll be probably next week if we have time. But I hired my best friend to do the talking. His name was Don Bybee. We just buried him 2 weeks ago. And we met at 4 years of age. Great loss to me. And so now I could tell him what to say, and he was smart. He got the hang of it. But I would create the designs, not paint them, and he'd help me. He called himself Mr. Fill-In. I would cut outside of the letters, and then he'd fill in between the lines. I could draw the straight line down with the paintbrush like that. It'd be straight, and then he'd fill in the space. I'm Mr. Fill-In, he said. And But we just got along great. We're just kids, you know. We just started off and we were so full of it. Well, we're going to beat Hutch. We're going to blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have any billboards, and I got me one built. And so I started off with the rectangles, put them on end. Now, it was a process that evolved. What I really did, there was an in-between stage. That in-between stage was I would create a cutout. And that was another element added to the general shape of the sign. And so eventually I had shape on shape like that on top of each other, all into one shape. But it was very, very unique, and the sign just stood out like that. And now, who is this guy named Snar with these unusual signs? And I said, I'll only do billboards because I can rent them. Now, I got to get the money to build them. Easier said than done. So the key is this. I'm only 17 now. If I get a contract, that's a piece of paper. That contract is an asset. So I picked to find out who in town has good credit. And that meant asking around to the right people. And I got ideas from my uncle. Was this guy a good credit risk? Yeah, he pays his bills. No, avoid that guy. And so I got good steerage there to help me so I wouldn't end up building a billboard and then not being able to collect. But it was quite something because I worked it out to start off with. What I'll do this sign for, the first one, was $10 a month, but for 4 years. That's $480. That's a lot of money in those days. But $10 a month, you know, that's not too severe if you're talking to the right person. Well, you got the South Idaho Falls Highway, you got the North Idaho Falls Highway, and you got the highway coming in from the west. So there's 3 highways there. So if I work it right, maybe I could get $30 a month, which is $1 a day, and you got 3 signs. And so these type of approaches became quite unique. Well, how many signs did I get built that first summer? I think right around 3 or 4. But that was quite an achievement for me. Now, I had to do some other work in between. I did some truck jobs on the sides of trucks, painting them. I did some wall signs to kind of keep going. I did a kind of a mixture that first year. So I go to BYU, and I got myself a business. And I'm already thinking on how to make money.